Okay, I like to play a lot of blackjack out here in Las Vegas. I do it recreationally. I'm not trying to supplement my income. I'm not trying to create a new income stream doing this. I just play it for fun. But what you learn a lot about people when you play cards. Local casinos, the strip, it doesn't really matter. People are people. Now, one thing you learn is that most people play without any strategy whatsoever. They don't even know basic strategy. And you can get one of these cards at a gift shop in any casino, which gives you a plan of what to do with the game so that you don't lose your ass off. Now, just using basic strategy, you're not going to win in the long run, but it's going to mitigate your losses so you last long enough to have a good time. And then there's more sophisticated methods you can add on top of that, which start stacking the deck in your favor. But very few people actually have a plan. They just play until they lose and then they leave. Now, this is a metaphor for life. People start businesses, they have no plan. There's a reason why most businesses fail, and the reason is bad plans, poor planning. Most people train without a plan, and they get zero results. Just look at the average person who goes to the gym. They just show up, they start thinking about what they're gonna do, they're just dicking around. You get nowhere with that. When you go to the gym, you should know exactly what you're gonna do at most of your workouts. Every once in a while you have fun, you just play around, but 90% of the time, you should have a very clear idea. I'm gonna do these 5 movements, I'm gonna work up to this weight, I'm gonna do this many repetitions, I'm gonna take these length of breaks in between each set. When you start a business, you don't just start it and hope for the best. Let me just start working, see how things go. It's not gonna go well. You need to have a plan. When I used to teach kettlebell workshops, I didn't just show up for a 6 to 8 hour day and without an idea of what we're gonna do. So I show up and I go, all right, folks, we're gonna start with Romanian deadlifts, work on your hip drive. Actually, you know what? We're gonna start on swings. You know, let's just go right into this. Let's do snatches. Maybe we'll do jerks, right? You can't fuck around like that. You have to have a clear idea. People are paying good money and you're gonna have them, it's gonna be a really long day without a plan. They're looking to you to lead them through the day. So you have a strategy of how the day should unroll. And then you have to modify sometimes. Just like with training, you have a plan. Sometimes you have to modify on the spot, but you still have a plan. Look, I don't even go to the fucking grocery store without a plan. I have either a list in my phone, in my pocket, or in my head at the very least of what I'm there for. I don't just show up and go, okay, what do I want today? Probably not gonna make very good choices and you're gonna waste a lot of time. But if you have a plan, you go in there, you work your way around the store, even that's a plan. I'm gonna start here on the left, I'm gonna get all this produce, I'm gonna work my way over here, get a few other things. You see where I'm going? Just the drive from the house to the grocery store, assuming I'm not having it delivered. Pretty fancy over here. Just the drive from my house to the grocery store, you have a plan of how you're gonna get there. Now, for the most part, you've done it so many times, it's unconscious, you don't have to think about it, but you don't just start driving and then hope that you'll end up there. Imagine doing a road trip, right? You're gonna drive from California to New York, and you decide, just for fun, we're just gonna get in the car and go and see if we end up there. I mean, you may end up there eventually, but it's gonna take a really long time, as opposed to, okay, here's the route to the next state, and then the next state over, you break it down into increments. So when blackjack, people play for fun. So for the most part, it doesn't really matter if you have a strategy or not, but that's not the way you wanna live your life. The other thing I like about blackjack is it's a game of, first of all, it's a game of mathematics. It's not a game of instinct. It's not like poker. It's not a game of instinct. You don't go with your fucking gut, especially an average person doesn't have good gut health, so you shouldn't listen to your gut anyway. It's a game of mathematics. You play the numbers. You should be completely unemotional when you're actually trying to make money playing it. You don't get overly excited when you win, and you don't boom, hit the table like I see people doing when you lose. It's a game of mathematics and it's a game of time. You have to last long enough to win. See, the problem with people is they play so poorly, they go through their entire bankroll and they miss the turning points. With this game, there is a turning point where if you last long enough to reach that turning point, now the advantage is on your side for a limited time and you can capitalize on that. So you learn about timing. Timing is extremely important in life, knowing when to get into things and knowing when to get out of things. I got into the kettlebell industry in 2002. Probably 50 people owned kettlebells at that point. There was no reason to think this was gonna be a big trend and that it would be in every gym in America and pretty much every hotel casino gym as well. There was no reason to think that, but I thought that. I didn't just think it, I knew for sure that was gonna happen. And I was willing to bet my livelihood on that. It was the right timing. I'm the right person at the right place at the right time. So it's not big right now, but I'm gonna help create this big market and benefit from it personally, and then benefit from the efforts of other people as well. So I got in at the right time. I did really well. Now around 2013, I started getting burned out with it. And maybe the timing wasn't necessarily, the market wasn't starting to decline rapidly, but it was starting to decline. My business model, traveling and teaching workshops, that was coming to an end. The money I was making at that time, it was coming to an end. It wasn't sustainable. If someone tried to do it now, it probably wouldn't work as well as it did then. Someone brand new, that is, not someone well established. So I got out at the right time, and that's when, just at the same time, I'm working on developing my nutrition supplement business. Now, I wasn't thinking dollar signs, let me start selling supplements to make money. That's always been an interest of mine, but I got into it at just the right time. And man, did I really get into it at the right time, because fast forward to 2019 or 2020 when this whole pandemic kicked into full play, if I were still doing the traveling and teaching business model, my income would have gone to zero. But because now I'm retailing and designing my own supplements, selling direct to the customer, internet business, so no physical store shut down, now I'm able to not only keep my business going, but actually have a really good year. So it was perfect timing. Now, was it planned ahead of time? No. Sometimes with business, you do follow your instincts. Blackjack is always mathematics. But in business, when you're not feeling something anymore, you don't have the same level of passion that you used to have, maybe you need a break, but also maybe you need to move on. Maybe you just need to move on. You have to start over doing something else. And that's sometimes a daunting task. But as an entrepreneur, you're always doing that anyway. So if you don't have a plan, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's going to the grocery store, whether it's playing blackjack, whether it's starting a business, if you don't have a strategy, more specifically than a plan, the likelihood of you succeeding is not good. Sure, there's always that exception where someone's playing blackjack so poorly. I mean, I've seen people split on tens. I've seen people do a lot of dumb shit. I've seen people stand on an 11 against a face card. All right, the face card, the dealer just happens to bust with that face card and they win. Now that's dumb luck. In the long run, that poor of a strategy is gonna have disastrous, horrendous consequences. You're gonna lose through the nose. Now some say, well look, I'm gambling, I'm just having fun. Okay, that's cool, but why not just learn a few things? Learn basic strategy, learn some other tips. And now you can have just as good of a time and make some money. When I play with well, first of all, another strategy is whenever I play blackjack, I always bring my dog Raina now because I'm 10 for 10 with her. Now, sometimes I do pretty well. Sometimes like today I made 25 bucks, all right? But basically I got paid 25 bucks to have fun. I played cards for a couple hours. Again, I'm not trying to supplement my income with this. I'm just having fun. It's a nice diversion, something interesting to do. It's good for my brain health as well, keeping track of things. So it's fun. Now I'm 10 for 10 with her. So another strategy I have is I always bring her with me. I'm never gonna play blackjack again without her. Now, fortunately, she's a therapy dog. She's been all over the place. She's really calm. Everybody's always excited to see her. And I meet a lot of really nice people too who love dogs. I mean, I've met more nice people probably in the last 2 weeks than the last 15 years of living in Las Vegas. All right, so make sure you have a strategy. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you need a strategy. You're not gonna prevail without one.